Good morning. My name is Jeremy Peterson, and I am a student at WGU, Western Governors University, and I would like to talk to you about social issues in America. My purpose of this presentation is to inform you about how different social issues have become a part of our everyday life and how they have impacted the country. Now, I chose you, a group of high school students from all around the country, to tune in to this presentation via webcam because you, guys and girls, are the future of America. This is significant because knowing about social issues and social injustice is the only way for us to be here. You students are the future leaders of America, and that is where it starts. It is relevant because there's been so much negativity regarding social issues around our great nation. There have been shooting deaths, riots, and police have been targets of retaliation. Okay. So have you ever found yourself in a very awkward situation because of something that you have said? Has someone ever taken what you said out of context and took offense? I'm sure that you have, unless you live alone, under a rock, or in the middle of nowhere. I can understand that in high school, this probably happens more often than not. Over the course of this presentation, you will learn how social issues have become a part of our daily life in America. We will talk about slavery, homosexuality, and America electing our first black president. Slavery and racism are definitely social issues in America. Some have argued that slavery had existed throughout history and was a natural state of humanity. So, even though it may be bad, it's just the way it is. They use the example that the Greeks, the Romans, and the English had slaves. You know, everybody else is doing it. How many times have you heard that? Slavery was a large part of the success of this nation. Slaves were the driving force behind everything in the South, from cotton to tobacco. Thomas Jefferson wrote that slavery was an aspect of horrors, but still brought his slaves to the White House. Cooper A. and Rosen S. 2008. Losing slavery was a big blow to the economy. However, owning another human being is just not right. Many people have killed and been killed because of this problem. If you had to choose a side, which side would you choose? Our second issue is homosexuality. Homosexuality is an important social issue in America, and it's been that way for years now. Some people believe that every homosexual is doomed to hell. Some people believe that hell is a fictional place created to scare children into being good. But that's a story for another day. Doesn't the U.S. Constitution make every man equal? Does a person's sexual orientation take away his or her rights as a human? These are questions that are asked by many people in the LGBT community. There's discrimination going on. There's name-calling going on. And there's harassment going on. All of these things are social issues in America. Perhaps the most troubling thing is the amount of people that have been bullied because of this. Today, I will show you stats and numbers regarding suicide attempts and deaths in America. I'm going to show you that 47% of gay boys in the nation have thought about committing suicide. 34% of gay girls in the nation have thought about committing suicide. Now, the most troubling part is 54% of gay females have actually attempted suicide, in comparison to 24% of straight girls who have attempted suicide. This is brought to you by McDonald 2015. In 2008, the United States elected its first African American president. This was a very historic moment. President Obama has been at the center of social issues since he placed his name on the ballot. The typical thing to do in the election is try to win by any means necessary. And by most times, it really does mean any means necessary. However, there were some social issues that arose, and some would say questionable. 4 years later, he was re-elected and to finish his second and his last term. President Obama said, "I want our future generations to know that we are a people who see our differences as a great gift. That we're a people who value the dignity and worth of every citizen, man and woman, young and old, black and white, Latino, Asian, immigrant, Native American, gay, straight, Americans with mental illnesses and or physical disabilities." Obama 2015. This is something that we always need to think about. President Obama's experience stands for change in our country. It goes to show that when things look impossible, they are very much obtainable. Do you think that 400 years ago slaves could ever imagine that there would be someone who looks like them as the leader of the free world? Social issues are a significant problem in the world, but there is life after that struggle. I want to stress that no matter how hard things seem, we can think about two things. Number one, I want you to think about how bad things could be. After all, we are all free. Second, think about how good things can be. One day, you could do something that you never thought possible if you just fight as hard as you can. This is extremely important because when things get hard in life, and believe me, they will, you can always reflect back on this day and the things that you heard, and hopefully, it can urge you to drive and push forward. Are there any questions?